And I'm a solutions specialist from Laserfische International. Just a quick background on me. I was a teacher for 2 years in Thailand. I taught at a university and then I taught at a secondary school. And now I work for a solution provider. So the last time I spoke in front of this many people, they were about 7 years old. So cut me some slack. All right, so I'll just get started. I think mostly everyone's here. So thank you again for having me. Again, my name is Megan Kelly and I work for Laserfische International. I've come here from Hong Kong to talk to you a little bit about the changes in modern education and what steps schools can take on a foundational level to provide them the tools for their success. Specifically, we're going to look at enterprise content management, ECM, and its use as a platform to empower the digital school. So, let's get started, shall we? So what are the characteristics of modern education? What are the characteristics of the digital school? As we can all agree, the major characteristic and the major change we've seen in the last 10 years is technology. As I mentioned before, I am lucky to have looked at technology and education from 3 different perspectives. I was a student, then I was a professor, a teacher at a university, and a teacher at a secondary school. And now I work for a solution provider tasked with streamlining the business of education. And what we can agree on is that we've seen rapid changes in the use of technology in education. The second thing we've seen in the last 5-10 years is mobility. People need access to their documents from anytime, anywhere, from any location, and from any device. The chances of some of you probably being on your cell phone right now are probably pretty high. And if I were a teacher, I would take your cell phone and start deleting your apps one by one. But since I'm not a teacher anymore, you can keep your phones. But this proves my point. Mobility is an absolute necessary factor of modern education. And community. No longer is it just teachers, students, professors. Now we have an entire community of individuals involved in education. We have teachers, students, alumni, parents. Everyone wants to be involved in education in some way, shape, or form. And with more people comes the difficulty in communicating with one another. How can teachers keep in contact with their students? How can students keep in contact with their peers? How can departments stay in constant communication with another department that's only one door down? So these are issues that we're facing in modern education. How do we stay on top of these changes and achieve the goals that we've established for our digital schools? What goals do we have? So every university is different, but we can all agree that a major goal we have for the digital school is top performing students. You want to accept the highest caliber of student upon admission and mold them into an even better student throughout their schooling. To do this, of course, you need high-quality professors, professors who care about their students, who are engaged in education. You need a sense of community. No longer, as I mentioned, is it just student and teacher. We're no longer joining just a university, but you're joining an entire community of individuals that are going to help you succeed. As we're sitting in this room, we can agree that state-of-the-art technology is necessary in modern education. We need to have top quality technology in order to provide the education needed for these students. And, of course, communication and mobility. We need to have access to all of our documents, all of our files, everyone, at any time, anywhere, from any location. So now that we've established these goals to provide students with top quality education, top quality professors, technology, community, mobility, what are the fundamentals that university needs in order to achieve these goals? As you can imagine, the foundation of any university runs like any other institution, any other business, with multiple departments. You have a management department. You have a team of individuals that manage the ins and outs of your entire enterprise. You have an admissions department. How can you expect to have high quality students if there's no admissions department to process these applications? Without a records department to keep financial aid records, housing, student records, all of this information, there would be no university. Infrastructure. Without maintenance to clean your classrooms or IT to fix your broken devices, how can you properly educate students? And arguably most importantly, some might disagree, but without a finance department to write your checks and process payroll, how many professors would we still have on campus? So these are really the foundational elements of the digital school. So in order to achieve the goals of these high caliber students, professors, you need a records department, a finance department, and you need a strong foundation. So, on the one hand, we have the expectation of this modern digital school, something out of the future, something that only our grandchildren's grandchildren can imagine. But when you look at the reality, if you walk into any department on campus, if you walk into any office on campus, what do you see? What does it look like? Thank you. It looks like this. It looks slow, it looks inefficient, and it looks paper-based. On the one hand, you want state-of-the-art technology, but when you walk into the admissions department, you see people swimming in paper and inefficiency. You want a mobile, digital community, and yet all of your processes are still heavily paper-based. You want a global, mobile community, yet one department cannot efficiently communicate with a department one building over. You might have a sink that goes unfixed for months, and yet we expect our students to submit exams digitally from anywhere, anytime, on time, and yet our processes are slow and inefficient. What we see is a fundamental discord between the expectations of the modern digital school and the foundation that provides the tools for its success. Like any other university, like any other institution, universities face the same challenges regarding their business processes. Information silos. Each department has their own information, documents, data, completely separate from another department. There's no collaboration or communication on these shared documents. And often data is lost, duplicated, misplaced, and then replaced, costing a department time and money. Records departments face issues with compliance. Documents kept past their retention schedules are a liability, and lost confidential documents put universities at risk if you're audited. As our universities grow in terms of students and professors, as we all hope they will, employment is not always immediately affected, and often you have limited resources with an increased workload. How can your department manage if someone leaves, if someone goes on maternity leave or someone quits? Does your department have the capacity to work through these challenges? And like every other institution, universities face communication barriers. People don't communicate with one another, so processes are slow, inefficient, and there are many bottlenecks. So, what can we do? How can we counteract these issues? What we need is a tool to tackle these challenges. Something simple, document management. You need to take control of the clutter. Capture and classify documents in a centralized location for all of your staff to access from anywhere. Then, automate their movement. Send them to managers for approval. Send them to other departments for review, all digitally. Once they're in a centralized location, search and retrieval is easy. And a solution like this can be used for storage. Records, transcripts, photos, anything can be digitally stored in a safe and secure location until they need to be destroyed. This entire process managed over your enterprise is why a solution like this is called enterprise content management. So let's take a look at the difference between a process handled all in paper and a process handled through a solution like ECM. Take, for example, a professor requesting time off. In the paper process, they need to physically fill out a form using pen and paper. When they finish that, they hand the form to somebody to capture and classify this information. That form is then passed to a manager who can either approve or deny this request. All of this is likely scanned back in and sent to the professor and stored in our file cabinets that look like this, never to be found again. But what if this could be done using one solution? A professor fills out an online form. The form is automatically sent to a manager for approval. Once approved, the form is automatically sent back to the professor, letting him know the status. And it's stored in a safe and secure environment for easy search and retrieval. Nothing like the file cabinet you see there. Enterprise content management gives you the ability to develop templates that can be distributed throughout your organization, meaning a solution like this can be easily transferred to match a different business process in a different department. It's not limited to this form. It could be anything that you have. As you can see, this shared service model can be adapted to be used in any department. Student services can use ECM to guarantee record security, to accelerate housing, to organize test results. Admissions can use ECM to accelerate admissions, automate financial aid processing, and automate transcripts. And academic departments can use ECM to manage faculty records, store and route reprints for peer review articles, and centrally and securely track student grades. This is just a snippet of what can be done using ECM. It is not limited to these three departments. In fact, it can be used across your entire enterprise to match any business process that you might be doing. So taking a look at some of the campuses that have gone digital, the first one we have up here is the University of Southern California. This is located in Los Angeles. They use ECM to completely digitize the financial service processes. This realized them $31,000 in savings in the first year alone. So not only does a solution like this make your organization more efficient, but it affects your bottom line as well, saving you time and money. Oklahoma Christian University uses ECM to standardize and centralize records management across 17 of their schools. In their first project, they digitized 160 filing cabinets and streamlined faculty information management. The University of Hayil in Saudi Arabia uses ECM to standardize document management across 97 departments and has over 2,000 users. They integrated ECM with their student services and all of their other systems, so it's one seamless solution. And ECM effectively replaced email for approval for all official documents between departments. So now if you want something approved and you're a head of a department, you cannot email your supervisor. You cannot email the department head. No longer is email accepted because it is not secure. What they use instead is enterprise content management to process all of these approvals. As you've seen through this presentation, much is expected of the modern school. Technology, communication, and mobility are just 3 examples of the many expectations we have of the modern education system. But what many universities face at their foundation is inefficiency and clutter. Using enterprise content management as a platform, you can transform your basic processes, making them run smoothly and efficiently across your entire organization. This provides you the tools and the foundation for your school to achieve the goals of all modern institutions and truly become a digital school. like something out of the future. If you want to find out a little bit more about what we are and what our solution looks like, we can show you a hands-on demo. We're located at 30A. It's behind you down the row. Or if you would like, please feel free to send me an email. My email address is up there. Thank you again for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you again. Any questions?
Thank you. Does anyone want to? Yeah, now we are having our Q&A session.
Yeah.
Yep. So, does anyone have any questions? Do we ask? Yeah, Miss Kelly is more welcome to answer your questions.
Yeah, don't be afraid. I promise. I don't bite.
Anyone? Just raise up your hands if you do.
Well, if you have any other questions, just feel free to contact me. I'm quite tall, so you'll probably see me around. But our booth is located at 30A, so please feel free to contact us or come take a look at a demonstration. Thank you. Have a great day.
Kelly. Our next session will be at 12:30.